Harry, this is Lord Potato, and this is What If Naruto was the reincarnation of Ethan Gon, Son Jin-Woo, and Greed. Um, if you want to know how to spell, well, I mean, there is multiple ways to spell greed, but in the, what's it called? Webtoon I read, it just spelled Greed, but it's also Grid. But whatever. Other than that, what's it called? Um, oh yeah, go subscribe to Anime Sensei, Iconic What Ifs, and Obito What Ifs. And sure, my second channel will also be in the description, but I don't know if you really would care. So, let me turn off the lights for a second. So, what's it called? This is part two of what if that I did last time. Of course, I'm not gonna go into a recap or, yeah, I'm just gonna go straight into damn what if, okay? So, we go last time on what happened last time. So Naruto's out of the dungeon now. It was only an E rank dungeon, but somewhat it was so powerful because everything kind of glitched out a little bit because of hardcore and leveling player. Well, not leveling player, mostly leveling warrior. He kind of fucked up the system a little bit, but of course everything worked out perfectly fine in the end. Naruto met Ethan Gon, Son Jin-Woo, and Greed. Now, Naruto's level is still 31 from the last time. But of course, everything glitched a little bit. And of course, he still, when he did meet them, he also did meet Kurama and broke the cage with his not raw power, mostly his power that was actually combined with the others. So of course, Naruto's stats are now way higher than absolute normal. HP 900, IQ 500. He's extremely smart. Strength 500, stamina 1000, agility 500, chakra 50k, and endurance or not endurance, durability, endurance. They're basically the same for me. I don't know. Is 1000. So yeah. Naruto's stats just went off damn charts when he actually got like a 25% of, well, not 25, mostly a 10%, kind of 10% from each person. Ethan Gon, Son Jin-Woo, and Greed. Of course, Naruto also did unlock his special kind of attitudes. One is gambling, the other is Shadow Monarch, and the last one is being a blacksmith legendary class. Mostly also known as the Pandoro Blacksmith, I think that's what it's called. I forgot what it was called, but yeah. Of course, this is where Naruto, he has also different abilities that actually are with all of the characters. But also some abilities that he might actually combine in the near future. So, of course, we go into, Naruto. He left the dungeons, of course, went towards his house, and, mostly apartments, and went to sleep. This is where, I did mention that this is only a kind of 8-year-old Naruto. Was it 8-year or 7-year-old? 7-year-old Naruto. And, of course, this is where this Naruto, or not 7-year-old, it's... Wait a minute, he's already in the academy, so 9-year-old Naruto. I don't remember what age I put him as, but it was 9 years old. Of course, is where Naruto, he is, going to go sell off some items towards the local blacksmith. Because he realized that he actually gets a a 5% discount on any weapons. And Naruto can, hold any weapon. Dagger, katana, kunai weapon, or anything like that. Of course, he can also make his own blacksmith if he has the items for it. So, of course, he's going to his local blacksmith, kind of work at. Of course, he did kind of look around the blacksmith and all that. He goes into a blacksmith with an old man in it. This blacksmith that was old, he was actually being, kind of kicked out of his own home because he didn't have enough money to pay or anything to sell off anything. And of course, this is where Naruto sees this old man. This is where Naruto says, hello there, old man. This is where, not old man, he said, hello there. This is where the old man looks at him and says, what is a young fella like you doing here in my shop? This is where Naruto says, I'm just here to, well, look around. Maybe get a part-time job. This is where the blacksmith look at him and says, aren't you a little too young to get a part-time job? This is where Naruto says, I always was interested in blacksmith. He said it like that, smiling at the old man. The old man says, oh, you were? It's a very hard job if you want to think about it, kid. You need the materials and other things to make weapons, swords, gear, anything like that. So it'll be a hard job. And for being small like you, it's gonna be even worse. Now I should mention one thing. Naruto, even though he's 9, he's only about, well, what's it called, 4'1". So yeah, Naruto's kind of small. This is where, well, the old man says, but don't worry about it, kid. If you're wanting to work as a blacksmith, you probably should go to maybe a bigger business. My small-time shop here, it's only a small-time shop. Nothing much. I'm running out of, well, business. So, if you want to take a suggestion from a blacksmith like me, an old-timer like me mostly, you should go to a much bigger one. So Naruto says, no, this is fine. I don't mind working. If you don't give me any money, it's fine. I can just work here. I don't really mind. I really do like working as a blacksmith. I don't really mind about the money or anything. Naruto only saying that because he got money in the in the dungeon, so he's set for a good amount. So of course he is thinking to do gears, like mostly weapons. Not gears, mostly gear up with overpowered weapons, just like Greed has told him about. And yeah, now he does have the small amount of knowledge on how to make, well, not small amount of knowledge. He has knowledge from Greed about how to make weapons and all the other things. Even the system kind of shows him how to actually do it. But yeah, of course he does have a crafting system in the system, but he also he needs an actual blacksmith working thing. So an actual fire, the furnace, the coal, other things to actually work to actually make actual weapons, because he can't do it in the system, because Greed didn't actually decide to put it in the system. Instead, he wanted Naruto to learn how to do it by actually touching it physically, not using the system. Of course, Song decided to let Naruto do that instead of like putting it in the system. But yeah, of course, this is where Hardcore Leveling Warrior is right now, just saying, so I hope the kid is able to use Gamma. This is where, well, they look at him. I hope he doesn't become a gambling addicted like you, motherfucker. This is where Hardcore Leveling Warrior says, what do you mean? You guys are mean. This is where Greed says, I might have been addicted a little bit in my timeline, but Jesus Christ, I'm not addicted like you red hair fuck. This is where Hardcore Leveling Warrior kind of looks at him and says, what the hell did you just call me? This is where Greed says, like I said, I'm not. This is where both Greed and Hardcore Leveling Warrior are right now fighting because, well, Ethan did punch him in the face. This is where Greed got back up and uppercut Ethan. So yeah, we go into Naruto kind of, well, going in to make some things. This is where he did kind of get like some iron, some like just ore of iron mostly. And of course is where the blacksmith, the old man, who I'm going to name, his name is Khan. Now, what are you wondering why his name is Khan? It's because I'm just gonna take the old name, well, not the old name, the old man name and what's called Overgear, who is named Khan, to be this person, okay? So they're not the reincarnation, this is just another person, but his name is Khan. This is where, well, Naruto for some reason got a system, a quest saying, Khan, you have now met Khan. What would you like to do? Would you like to work alongside with him, or just go to a bigger business? Naruto thinks about it and knows that no other shop will be willing to let him in, and most of you will try to rip him off. So of course he decides to work along with the old man, and of course he does click to work with the old man, basically named Khan. This is where Khan smiles to know that Naruto's actually willing to work with him. And of course Naruto does say instead of just clicking on it. So of course it's where, well, Khan teach him on how to kind of make weapons and even armor, but first, mostly weapons. The weapon that he wanted Naruto to make was a bow and arrow mostly. So of course Naruto, he goes to make the sharp part, mostly the metal. Of course, got some metal, puts it in, starts kind of heating it up, starts smacking it with a hammer, and he's doing this all naturally. He's actually like, if it's all natural to him because of greed. Greed is a kind of natural, what's it called, born to be blacksmith. That's just because of this, what's it called, legendary class. But of course, Greed got really used to it in the what's it called webtoon. So yeah, of course, this is where Naruto is doing the arrow, and of course, this is where he kind of he managed to overheat, heat it again, and then like take it out, and then go up to kind of okay. So there's like a couple when you overheat. Okay, let me mention this. So I know a little bit about how to forge weapons. That's just because I used to when I was younger. Okay, when I was younger, at 6 or 9 o'clock, I forgot when it was, in Discovery or not Discovery History or Discovery Channel. I forgot which one was it, but they used to do like this like Forge channel, and of course this is where I always fucking watch it. I loved it. I when I was little, I actually wished to actually be a blacksmith like those guys. So I actually understand a little bit about forging. So yeah, that's why I kind of like Overgear a lot, because of the person kind of forging weapons and all that. So yeah. So let me go back into what I ignore about myself. So Naruto did like first get the metal, heat it up, kind of put fire into it by kind of just pumping in air. That was he first put coal inside a furnace. This is where he also gets a lighter, throws it in, then starts pushing air inside it by kind of with a whatever those things are called, just pushing air in it. Then heats it up, puts it as kind of like red first, and of course it's a solid block of iron first, so not solid really much, but it's just a block of iron. This is where he starts kind of just hitting it with a hammer, and of course it's a small one. I should mention it's a kind of cube. It's a cube of not iron, I would say steel. So of course Naruto hits it, tries to make it the perfect shape. Then he goes towards keep hitting it, trying to make it the perfect shape. Then heats it up again, hits it again so it can actually become the perfect shape and all that. Heats it up again, then goes towards a bucket of oil. This is where he puts the arrowhead on the oil. Of course, it does steam up and all that. It does kind of go on fire first and then steams up. And this is where Naruto takes it out, goes towards a kind of, a wooden, stick and all that. Of course, he kind of puts the arrowhead inside the stick and all that. And of course, decides to also like pluck in the, feathers, or mostly that lines of feathers that's behind the arrow and all that. And of course, is where, Naruto says, "Here you go, old man." This is where the old man named Khan says, "Huh? You're done already?" This is where, the old man was also doing an arrowhead just to teach how Naruto would be doing it like. And of course, this is where Naruto says, "Yeah, this is where the arrowhead. You have just made an arrow." Or not the arrowhead, mostly the arrow. "You have just made one arrow. This arrow rarity is rare. You have done great on your first, quest of becoming one of the greatest blacksmiths all time." This is where, Greed was actually surprised that Naruto did learn all that, and is very happy. He's like, "Yeah." This is where the old man did make an arrowhead, and of course, not arrowhead, he did make the arrow, and of course, it's uncommon. And of course, Naruto is actually still pretty good, still saying the arrow can be used as an arrow. This is where Naruto, he thinks about it more. It doesn't matter about the rarity of, the weapon. All that matters if it works, if it's still usable, and if it's not what's called dull or anything. That's what matters truly about the weapon. It also matters in who the user is, if they take good care of the weapon. This is where he kind of then understand what Khan was kind of saying, but Naruto was thinking in his head like that first. Of course, this is where Khan says, I remember a young fella that used to come here. Well, one time. I only met him one time. Don't know where he's at now. A green hair fella that kind of got lost, I guess so, and trying to find, well, an actual blacksmith. He asked me to forge, well, two of his swords. So I did lend him some swords and for him to go do bounty hunting. But of course, when he did come back, I thought those swords were perfectly fine. Of course, he broke them all and I just laughed it off. Of course, he did pay me. I missed the young fella. This is where, well, Naruto says. So what was his name? This is where Khan says, I don't remember. I think his name was, Zoro Noah? I can't remember. We go into, well, somewhere in a distant, not distant future. Somewhere in a distant world. Zoro, who is right now fighting against, well, King, just sneezes randomly and says, ugh, I feel like someone's talking about me. Oh shit, dodges an attack from King. This is what he says. I wonder if that old man that used to forge my weapons, at least when he forged my weapons, they were sturdy as hell. I wonder if he's talking about me. He dodges another attack from King. This is where King says, stand still, you fucking bastard. This is where Zoro says, not a chance. Three sword style. This is where, well, we go back into Naruto. Khan just says, still, you are pretty good and a natural at being a blacksmith. So, kid, are you still willing to become a blacksmith? I know it's hard work, but in all due time, it's still good. This is where Naruto nodded and says, yeah, I want to still be a blacksmith. This is where Khan says, good. Well, then, I gotta figure out how to get money first into, well, being a blacksmith. That's where Naruto then kind of gives him the arrow that he made and gives it to Khan, saying, then sell this arrow. This is where Khan says, no, kid, I can't sell it. That's your arrow that you made. Naruto says, no, it's fine. I don't mind. Besides, you need the shop still. I can see the shop is more important to you because of maybe it might be some kind of family tradition. This is where Khan thinks about it and says, yeah, that is true. I did found this blacksmith until, well, some things didn't go well, and yeah. This is where Naruto says, do you want to talk about it? The old man says, I shouldn't be boring you with my boring story. So, it's fine, kid. I don't want to sell your arrow. This is where Naruto says, then I'll make more. Besides, if you truly loves this, what's it called? Well, this area, then you should keep it and not let anyone kind of take your place away. This is where the old man says, no, it's fine, kid, it's fine. This is where Naruto says, no, it's not. I'm willing to help you. I might be just a dumb kid, but I'm willing to help an elderly. This is where the old man can see, well, Naruto as someone else. This is where Khan says, he whisperedly says, Savanian? This is where Naruto says, who? This is where Khan says, no, nothing. He saw a great image of Naruto and, well, his son. This is where Khan says, never mind. Sure, kid. If you're willing to actually help me restore what's called my kind of shop, then I'll be willing to lend you anything to help you. This is where Naruto smiles and says, okay, let's do it. This is where the old man starts deciding to, start up the furnace, and of course Naruto starts kind of making arrowheads. This is where Naruto, he kind of like makes some arrowheads and other things. Of course, starts making more arrows. So of course they have 2 right now. And this is where Naruto says, how much would a bunch of, how much arrows would it need to be sell off? This is where, well, Khan says, for a good quality batch, it'll be selling for at least 2,000 won, or mostly, whatever they use. I think it's won or euro, I can't remember. But of course, this is where he says, about 2,000. And, well, for a kind of bad batch, but still good, use of, well, for an interest to use arrows, or for anyone to use arrows, it would be, at least less than 200. This is where Naruto says, I see. But there is still a lot of people that would love to only use what's it called, kind of a bad batch, just because they don't want to like go back and kind of grab the arrow when they kill someone. So Naruto kind of looks at him and nodded. So of course Naruto doesn't like forcibly kind of rush towards the making of arrows and all that. He makes about 10 arrows today. That's where the old man managed to make only 5 arrows because he was old and Naruto was more hyperspeed in it. Of course, Naruto was sweating a lot. Of course, he did kind of just took sweat off his like forehead, and of course, he managed to make 10 arrows. Now, I should mention about the rarity of these arrows. 4 were common. So there's 10 in total. So 4 were common. 3 were actually rare. And well, and two of them were actually an actual good quality of arrows. Actually, well, epic, an epic type. This were Greg says, damn, that kid actually made it. Well, good arrowheads. Well, not good arrowheads, mostly arrows. 2 epics. That's where Naruto grabs the last one, and the last one is actually a legendary type. This is where it has the golden title. Legendary arrow. Of course, it's right now shining brightly in Naruto's hand. This is where the old man goes towards, well, Naruto, and looks at the arrow. Kind of just, like, says, can I see it? Naruto says, yeah, here you go. This is where the old man looks at the quality. The perfect sharpness. The pointiness. The fact that this arrow is pretty damn good. The head of the arrow is super sharp. Super good and can probably fly for miles if a good archer uses this arrow and can snipe anyone. This is where Naruto says, so do you think the arrow is good? This is where Khan says, of course, my boy. You made such a quality type that this will actually, even one arrow of this will probably sell for 5,000 or even more. Such a quality type of arrow here will only be used by a master archer. This is where, well, Khan was talking until someone kind of opened the door, and of course the ring of the bell saying ring ring or something like that. And of course this is where a man walks in. A man wearing a kind of helmet on his head, has a blue feather. Of course, has what's called a bow behind him. And of course this is where the bow looks like to be very, very customized made. This is where, well, the archer says, hello there. I'm just here to, well, see if you guys can help me in kind of fixing my bow. You see here, my bow kind of did get a little bit of torn up when I was on a mission, but I'm here for it to be repaired. The old man says, well, this is where Naruto says, sure, we can help you. This is where, well, the old man saw Naruto still with full of energy. But of course, the old man hasn't teach Naruto how to make an arrow. Well, not an arrow, a bow to kind of repair it. This is where, well, the archer looks at Naruto, but of course he doesn't mind Naruto. He sees that, well, Naruto is a kid. He's thinking the old man, maybe they look like their grandson and grandfather, but it doesn't mind him. So, of course, he just thinks that's what it is. It's not like one kid is actually working for this old man, but yeah. Of course, is where, well, the archer puts his bow down, and this bow, I will show you how it looks like. So this is what the bow looked like. Of course, instead of just being white, it had the string, of course, but of course, the string was actually kind of like ninja wire for a little bit. It has ninja wire instead of being normal string. Of course, this color will actually kind of be like a golden color at the same time bronze color. But it also did have a little bit of like wood, so wood would be here. And of course, this is where this bow was actually a long bow. This is where Naruto, he kind of looks at the bow and sees how much durability is on there. Only a couple of uses left and then it will be destroyed. This is where Naruto says, Khan, can you help me how to, well, repair it? Khan then gets a bow that's from the back and actually wanted to show Naruto how to repair it. This is where I don't really... Okay, before I go any further, I don't know how to actually repair bows. Maybe swords I do, but bows are, well, it's never shown in the what's called forgery, so yeah. So of course, this is how, well, I will kind of best explain it. Naruto kind of gets, well, the old piece of metal from the bow and all that, kind of like start taking it apart. And this is where Naruto starts kind of reforging the metal into the heat, smacking it, kind of making it sharper, newer, and all that. And of course, this is where Naruto puts the bow back together. That's like how Khan showed him. Of course, Naruto saw the ninja wire and saw that the ninja wire has only a couple of uses left, like only 2 uses left. That's where Naruto also takes the, well, mostly the line, the string, and kind of goes and gets another one. This is where, well, the archer is surprised to see a kid so expert in, well, being a blacksmith and being able to repair a bow. This is where, well, he managed to repair the bow, and of course, this is where Naruto tested it and sees that it's being all attached together, and this is where he gives it, well, before giving it, he sees the bow. Bow has been repaired. Quest has been finished because there was a quest that Naruto didn't see. And of course, when he took the bow, it was automatically accepted. So, of course, where Naruto says, repair of the bow. The bow was first what's called uncommon, but after Naruto changing it, he managed to repair it to actually being a rare type bow. This is where, well, Naruto kind of gives the bow back to the archer, and the archer kind of feels it, kind of says that can he have like a wooden arrow or anything. This is where, well, Khan gave him wooden arrow. This is where, well, the archer kind of puts it, sees a just kind of apple that's just sitting there and it's already rotten. And this is where he shoots the, well, arrow, the wooden arrow, at the apple. And of course, this is where the arrow launches so fast that it hits the apple. This is where the archer says, very, very expert in what's it called, repairing my bow. It feels so much better. So much, how should I say, powerful in long range. This is where Naruto says, are you perhaps by any time looking for arrows? This is where the archer says, yeah, I am in need of a couple of arrows. I am somewhat an assassin, if you want to know a little bit. I'm an assassin that kind of needs these arrows to be very high quality. That's where Naruto takes out, well, 3 of the arrows that he had. The 2 epics and 2 legendaries. He gives them to the archer so the archer can see the quality of the arrows. This is where he sees the sharpness, the pointiness, the fact that this arrow can definitely fly very far. This is where, well, the blacksmith says, interesting, these arrowheads, or not arrowheads, these arrows are very good quality. One, he grabs a legendary, and the other 2 are the epics. This is where, well, the archer says, you don't have by any chance any more of these quality arrows. Naruto says, no, not yet. This is where the archer smiles at him and says, then it's okay. I will be paying these. So, for this quality of arrow that I have right now in my hand, I'll be paying 10,000. And for these other 2, I'll be paying 5,000. How does that sound to you? What's it called? He looks at the old man. This is where the old man says, that'll be a total of 20,000. Yes, it'd be okay. That's where the archer pulls out a stack of a bag of money and gives it to the old man and says that should be enough, right? This is where, well, the old man counts and sees that actually 25,000. This is where the old man says, sir, it's 20. This is where the archer says, keep the change. Besides, what's it called? You, sir, have a quality a young, what's it called, smith trainer. Quite an honor to see such young being able to make such quality weapons. So keep the change. That's where, well, Naruto smiles at the archer, and the archer just smiles at Naruto and says, I'll be wanting to, well, make more business with you, kid, in the near future. Thank you. That's where the archer leaves. And of course is where, well, Naruto smiles and says, see? Yay! That's where, well, he says, see, Khan, we did it. We made more money back. This is where Khan counts and thinks about it. If Naruto helps him even more, this is where Khan says, no, I shouldn't rip off the kid. This is where he takes the 5,000 that he got extra from, well, the archer and gives it to Naruto. and says, "Here, this is good for your quality, for your payment." So Naruto shakes his head no. He wants to help the old man, not make him like pay any money or anything. This is where Khan sees that Naruto's a kind-hearted young boy. This is where, Khan says, he smiles. He felt his heart being warmed up. And so he kind of smiles like Naruto says, you really do look like him. Zenin. This is where Zenin is actually the grandson of actually Khan. Mostly because Khan is actually old and he had a son and a grandson, but they died a long time ago from a disease, not the Nine Tails. So he doesn't hate Naruto. And the archer that came in wasn't even from Konoha. He was just someone that was actually looking around for any what's called blacksmith to kind of, repair his bow. Of course, he also did pay for what's called the repair of the bow for like 10,000 because he felt very good. So of course, it was actually 35,000 to be counted. But yeah. Of course, Naruto smiles at Khan and says, "Besides, I'm here to help you anyway." This is where Khan smiles at Naruto and says, Thank you so much." He bows down. Well, he kind of like goes down and down on his knees and kind of looks at Naruto. He just bows down politely and says, "Thank you." This is where Naruto says, "Please don't bow down. Besides, you're old. You need to not hurt your back." This is where Khan smiles and says, "You're truly a kind-hearted young man." So, even though Naruto's like previous goal was actually to make people fear him, he instead wants to change his kind of goal a little bit. To being a great blacksmith, but also being a great warrior at the same time. And protecting those that he truly he cares about. His dream has changed twice. Instead of becoming the Hokage, he's now wanting to before become one of the strongest and make people fear him. Now he actually just has two different goals. Still to make the first one become a reality, but now this second one is to become one of the greatest blacksmith people out there. A great person out there. This is where, the old man says, "Well, it's getting late. You should probably be heading home. Heading home, young fella." This is where Naruto nodded. This is where Naruto, he kind of like opens the door and kind of waves by at the old man, and the old man says, "Well, goodbye, my young apprentice." Besides, that's what the archer did tell him, but I couldn't really think of the fucking name. But yeah, this is where Naruto kind of just says, "Yeah, bye." This is where Naruto kind of walk away, but of course, this is where he starts jumping on the rooftops and kind of get into his apartment way faster. Because he doesn't really like kind of just being on the streets. So yeah. Of course, Naruto, him being 9 years old now, and now thinking that he should be training more. And of course, the daily quest did appear on Naruto's kind of face, mostly the screen and all that. And it says that Naruto daily quest. This is where Naruto, before heading home, it was still kind of like 4 o'clock. It was still having daylight out and all that. Of course, Naruto says, maybe I should go to a training ground. I go to the park. This is where Naruto goes to the park and starts training, starts working out, doing the 100 push-ups, the 100 sit-ups, the 100 squats, and now doing a 10K run. This is where, Naruto didn't notice, a couple people approaching, the kind of park. This is where, a person with kind of reddish hair, being scarlet red hair and kind of scarlet red eyes, kind of is looking at, the boy that's running around the park, mostly around the pond. This is where a girl with what's called black hair, red eyes is also looking at this boy. And the last person who has, lightish, no. The second girl was actually not having black hair, but had actually blonde hair and dull blue eyes. Was looking at, Naruto. Was seeing Naruto just run around. This is where, the third person was a girl with kind of like a waterish color of hair. Of course, kind of bluish eyes. Is also watching Naruto just run around. Seeing Naruto running around pretty damn fast. This is where, Naruto, he is done with the 10K run, and of course, this is where Naruto, he did actually do more than just a couple of like the 100 things. He actually did it at 300, and of course, he did get bonuses. What's it called? More stuff like, not bonuses, points and all that. So of course, the points he gets what's it called a status of like 10 points for right now. So of course, he has 160 points now, and of course, this is where he doesn't level up, but of course, is where Naruto, his strength does level up to being 501. So yeah, his stamina does kind of go up a little bit more to being just 1001, or not 1001. I'm actually gonna change that to first was a 505, 1005. Yeah, 1005. Agility will also be 505. Chakra stays the same, and durability will stays the same. So yeah. Of course, Naruto, he is done with the training. Of course, is where he did get extra gold and all that, more money from the system. And this is where Naruto, he turns around to kind of start walking home. And of course, is where Naruto sees, 3 people right now looking at him. Naruto kind of did have an eye connection with all 3 of them. And this is where all of them looks at Naruto. Naruto is sweating from his like shirt and jacket. Of course, he did take off his jacket when he was kind of working in the blacksmith. But of course, Naruto is confused and why they're all looking at him. And this is where Naruto just walks towards him. Of course, Naruto could have go home, but Naruto just walks towards him, kind of saying, can I help you? That's where Naruto said it kind of like nice, but at the same time kind of rude a little bit. This is where, all 3 of them looks at him and says, yeah, wait, why are you out here? This is where Naruto says, training? What do you think? I'm just running around. This is where, they all look at him saying, huh, why don't you just play with other people? Naruto says, with who exactly? I'm sorry, but unless you see Casper just kind of flying around, I don't know if you see this, but there's absolutely no one around here. Except for you 3 who just came. Yes, I noticed you people kind of walk around here. I was going to ignore you, kind of walk away, but instead I just came over here to wonder why you people were just looking at me. Now, of course, I should mention they're all 9-year-old. Even Naruto is 9 years old. So, of course, is where, they look at him confusedly. That's where Naruto says, why the hell are you giving me that face? Confused and what? Like, seriously, is there anyone around here? For thousands of miles, I swear to God, I feel like everyone will have a better chance in finding, Casper than me. That's where they all look at him confusedly more. And Naruto says, okay, you know what? I'm not going to deal with this. Naruto just gets up and starts, not gets up, kind of just turns his back behind him and starts just walking away. That's where all of them says, wait, can we know your name at least? That's where Naruto says, huh? Oh, my name is, That's where Naruto says, what the fuck should I name myself? This is where Naruto's thinking, you know what? I know what the perfect name for my name is. This is where Greed says, Greed? He's thinking in his mind, maybe he's gonna choose Greed. Song just like, maybe he's just gonna choose Naruto Uzumaki or some Jin-Woo. I mean, I wouldn't care. Ethan says, my name. This is where Naruto screams out, Ethan Gun. This is where all of them look at him. And this is where they look at Ethan. We'll see what's it called, Song and Greed. And even Kurama looks at, Ethan. And Ethan says, yes, the kid picked the best name out of all of us. Yeah, this is where Greed gets angry and rushes at Ethan and says, you motherfucker. This is where, they start kind of fighting, but yeah. Kurama says, that's the most stupidest name I ever heard. This is where Kurama, he is, the giant fox, but he then turned into a human figure to kind of, be the same size as the other 3. So, of course, this is where Ethan says, what the hell did you just call me? This is where Kurama says, a stupid name. What do you think I call you? You want? Maybe I should call you Scrub. This is where Ethan says, "Why you motherfucker?" So Ethan just starts fighting with mostly everyone, except for Song, because Song just doesn't care. And this is where, well, the three girls say, "Huh, Ethan Gunn, interesting. Do you have a last name?" Naruto says, no." This is where all of them say, oh, "Okay." This is where, this is where Naruto says, "So, are you gonna tell me your name?" This is where, well, the girl with, well, scarlet red hair and red eyes, ruby red eyes mostly, says that her name is Scarlet from, well, the Kitsune blood clan. This is where, well, Naruto nodded. This is where the dull blue eye girl with blonde hair says her name is Junko from, well, the emotional motion clan. This is where, well, Naruto nodded. This is where the last one said that her name is, well, Umi Uchiha. And of course, this is where, well, Naruto nodded and he said, okay. Of course, this is where Naruto, he kind of just nodded and said, okay. This is where Naruto says, then, bye, I'm actually gonna go back home. This is where, well, all of them look at each other, and this is where Umi says, wait, don't you want to be friends? This is where Naruto says, me? Friends with you? But why? Aren't you from, all three of you, aren't you from clans? You see here, I'm not even from a clan. Why would you be friends with a kid like me? This is where, well, Junko says, because, that's the reason. We don't want to be friends with other clan heads, or clan heirs mostly. So, we just want to be friends with someone normal. So Naruto says, he thinks in his head, normal you say? I don't think being normal. He says it's all in his head. I don't think being normal with 3 reincarnations and a giant fox inside me is being counted as normal. This is where Ethan says, nah, it's fine. It's fine. Song says, now that he says it like that, it's not really normal. This is where Green says, it's fine. Also, if you heard that in the background, that was just my Xbox just kind of downloading some stuff. So, of course, it's going to have that most of the time in the background, so yeah. Reason why is because, well, my sibling decides to download so much shit on my Xbox, but yeah. But other than that, I wonder if I can record stuff on the Xbox and then use that as a gameplay on, never mind. I should be doing that later. Okay. But other than that, let me go back into what. So, of course, this is where, well, they said, yeah, we just want to be friends with you, normal kid. This is where Naruto says, yeah, normal. Yeah, that's definitely normal. Kurama says, at least he didn't say anything about me. Or anything but us, mostly. This is where Naruto says, yeah, definitely normal. I am a definitely normal kid. Just your normal, average kid. Yeah. This is where, well, Naruto is kind of not saying that out loud. But of course, this is where Naruto says, sure, I guess. This is where they say, good. Then, do you want to come back towards this park tomorrow? This is where Naruto says, well, about that, Naruto explains that he has to, well, work. This is where all of them says, but aren't you a kid? Naruto says, about that. Yeah, I am a kid, but, you know, kid still has to work. That's where all of them looks at Naruto. That's where Naruto says, blame the Hokage. This is where Naruto just gets up really fast because he was sitting down next to all of them. And of course explaining that he just needs to work for stuff and all. And he was just helping his imaginary parents. That's the only thing that he had to think of. And this is where, well, they all look at him kind of confused. Of course, when Naruto says, blame the Hokage, Naruto just ran away. This is where, well, and that night, this is where all 3 of them decides to talk to their, well, kind of parents about a certain boy and the Hokage. This is where, well, we go into the next day, and Naruto is going to Horusen Sarutobi before going towards basically workshop, basically the blacksmith. And of course, where Naruto is wondering if he can get Horusen Sarutobi to donate the money instead of towards him, but towards Khan. And of course, where Naruto, he walks into something that he was kind of surprised a little bit. This is where, well, Hiruzen was right now in a meeting with 3 other clan heads. And of course, where, well, Hiruzen says, huh? So you want me to help a certain boy because of his issues with money? This is where mostly the 3 clan heads kind of looks at their daughters and says, yeah. This is where Naruto busts through the, Hiruzen's office and says, hey, old man, Gigi, would you mind helping me on something? This is where Naruto did have his eyes closed when he busts through, and this is where Naruto finally opened his eyes, sees the 3 girls that he met yesterday, and sees Hiruzen, and this is where he sees 3 other people, mostly kind of clan heads. One is with, what's it called? Well, a dirty blonde hair, short dirty blonde hair mostly, and of course with kind of a dark blue eye color. This is where, dark blue. This is where, another man has kind of red hair, a crimson more red hair color, or not crimson red, mostly brown, and of course his eyes are like blue. This is where, he sees, not blue, they're mostly like a ruby red, and of course he sees Naruto, and this is where the last man is, what was it called? Well, not even a man, mostly a female, a woman. Her name is, not her name, her, appearance has, bluish hair. Of course, her eyes are a bluish sea color, and of course she looks at Naruto. It's where Naruto sees the 3 girls that he met yesterday, and he sees Hiruzen. It's where Naruto just scoots by them and goes up to Hiruzen. It's where Hiruzen says, what do you want, Naruto? Oh, I just want you to help me out on a little project. This is where Hiruzen says, are they finally starting projects in the academy? Naruto says, huh? Oh, I forgot I was even in the academy. Hiruzen smacked his forehead and says, wait, what have you been doing for the past month? Sleeping. This is where he had to lie to Hiruzen. Hiruzen narrows his eyes and says, Naruto? Seriously? You realize if you fail this time, you have to be in the academy again. Naruto says, it's fine, who cares about that? Other than that, just a little tiny project that I need you to help me about. Naruto smiles at Hiruzen. Hiruzen sighs and says, okay, I will help you with this project if you get out the office and let me do this meeting. Okay? Naruto says, got it, Gigi. That's where Naruto, he starts walking, and then he decides it's, about to jump out the window. That's where Hiruzen notices really fast and grabs Naruto from jumping out the window. Naruto's just like, huh? That's where Hiruzen says, what are you doing, Naruto? Naruto says, going out the window? I always see ninjas jumping out the window, and I thought I could do it. This is where Hiruzen says, no, Naruto. That's a bad idea. Very bad idea. But Naruto says, but I want to be just like those ninjas. This is where Hiruzen saying, no, Naruto. How about this? You just sit over there at the couch, let me do this meeting, and yeah. This is where Naruto says, meetings are boring. I might just go outside. This is where, the older kind of looking female kind of spoke up and says, hey, Umi, wasn't that the boy you were telling me about? This is where, Hiruzen kind of looks up, kind of narrows his eyes, and not narrows his eyes, kind of just looks at Naruto. Naruto says, huh? Are you talking about me? This is where Umi kind of nodded. This is where Umi says, not Naruto, Iten. This is where Hiruzen says, Iten? This is where Hiruzen just even screamed out that name. This is where the clan heads, and even one clan heiress mostly, or mostly the mother of Umi, and what's called the heiresses, are kind of wondering why Hiruzen looks confused. Naruto says, are you just gonna leave? I don't worry, Hiruzen, I'll just be outside. This is where Naruto was about to start running until Hiruzen says, Naruto, stay. This is where all of them look even more confused when Naruto's name was actually called by Hiruzen. Actually, Naruto, not Ethan. This is where Naruto says, fuck. This is where Ethan says, oh fuck, he got in trouble. This is where the Nine-Tail says, I wouldn't be surprised. Ethan's such a stupid name. This is where Ethan was about to just explode and fucking fight Karama for this shit. This is where, Naruto say, yeah. He decides to grab the door, open it, and starts running downstairs. This is where, Hiruzen sighs and says, Albus, can you go get Naruto for me? This is where, Hiruzen says, okay, please tell me, what did Naruto do to actually make you six, call Naruto Ethan? That's where all the three girls kind of just says that was the name that he said. He said he didn't have a last name and he was just kind of running around the pond working out. I don't know what he was doing. This is where Hiruzen says, I guess he's training. He's taking his ninja career serious, but really lying about. I know Naruto's still a kid. He's thinking inside it. This is gonna be such a headache. This is where Naruto is brought back by an Anbu, and Anbu is right now struggling with Naruto. And of course, he tried to knock out Naruto when Naruto was knocked out. This is where he faked out his knocked out, and this is where the Anbu says, I have brought back Naruto Uzumaki back. This is where they say, Uzumaki? I thought he didn't have a last name, all three girls said. This is where Hiruzen says, that's just because this is where, before anything saying, Naruto wakes up and just kicks the Anbu in the head. He says, yeah! Surprise attack! This is where the Anbu falls down the ground. And of course, Naruto did have a lot of strength. Of course, knocking out the Anbu and seeing his perfect time to start running again. This is where Hiruzen sees the Anbu now down to the ground and just knocked out. This is where Hiruzen sighs and says, are you shitting me? He knocked out the Anbu. I'm surprised. Jesus Christ, I'm surprised so much. This is where Hiruzen says, Anbus, get Naruto. This is where a bunch of Anbus says, yes sir, and disappear. Naruto's right now running away from Anbus, trying to grab him, knock him out, and Naruto just shit, dodging, left, right, up, down. This is where Naruto just keeps dodging everything. He's like, fuck. This is where, the Anbus are trying so hard, at their best, to grab Naruto. But grabbing Naruto is like trying to grab a fish that's all kind of out of the water. One of those small fishes? They keep slipping out. So yeah, pretty much Naruto is just doing that. And this is where, a Anbu with purple hair and a cat mask appear, grabs Naruto and says, no Naruto, you're not doing this again. This is where Naruto's like, gets teleported away and got brought to the office. This is where Naruto was so close to escaping the door until, this girl is named